Okay, so we're at the tail end of an absolutely beautiful day today. Gorgeous day. Actually truly beautiful English summer's day. And it's a cliche, but you can't beat a beautiful English summer's day because you've got all the greenery that's been built up over 11 months of rain, and it all shines so brilliantly and luminously. So today I want to talk about the topic of modesty and humility. Modesty and humility as a virtue. I do not think that modesty and humility are universal virtues. I think they have an important place, very important, but I don't think they are. I think the opposite side to it is self-confidence, assertiveness, boldness, absolute self-belief, complete self-belief, even a touch of arrogance as well. And I think everyone deep down knows that both sides are important. Both sides are important. So let's break this down. This is it's stimulated by a few things. It's partly stimulated by an amazing conversation I've just had with a young lady in the cafe. She was Christian, and we were talking about, we were just talking about different things, and one of the things that she mentioned was some of the ladies in the church took issue with her wearing a dress because it was too figure-hugging for her in church. And the girl was nice looking, definitely, but I don't know, it wasn't like she was like Pamela Anderson or something. So we had this discussion, and my take on it was, and we got into a deeper discussion of Christianity, and this is one of my biggest issues with Christianity is these women in your church who are dissing you and they're trying to bring you down and control you about modesty. It's a way for them not to feel threatened. It's a way for them not to feel threatened, okay? That you're tempting men into sin, And as I said to her, God literally gave you your body. He literally gave it to you. So if you can't show it and express it, there's something wrong there. There's an issue, basically. There's an issue. And those women wanting to clip her wings. This is my biggest issue with Christianity in general, is people who are striving for the upper echelons, trying to rise up like Apollo, trying to get to, whatever it is, the top of whatever their field is, trying to be, or just becoming being ascendant men. Christianity is going to clip their wings. It's going to be like, money is the root of all evil. It's harder for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than it is to get into heaven. Or it's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than to get into heaven. Modesty and all this type of thing. Blessed are the meek. All these teachings, right? Nietzsche correctly identifies them as slave morality. It's the morality projected by slaves to cut down the strong, basically, to cut down the ascendant, to cut down the forceful, the beautiful, the triumphant, the glorious, the humorous, and I think he was completely right in that assessment. Lots of good things in Christianity, well, there's some good things, definitely, but this criticism is a major criticism in my eyes. And when you actually look at the key achievements of Christianity, most of them are of the ascendant type. The cathedrals, the Hagia Sophia, the Sagrada Familia, Barcelona. These are literally ascending to the heavens, So it doesn't really, how does that really fit? It doesn't really fit, does it? And more broadly, people saying you're too arrogant, you're too cocky, you're too, superior, whatever it is. It's essentially a way for somebody who is, hasn't been applying themselves, is basically useless. It's essentially a way for them to try to clip the wings of the people who have. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Yeah? You're not equal because you've sat on your ass eating Doritos, watching Netflix, lying around on a DFS sofa. You do not get to critique the people who've been out there getting after life and say, oh, you're too cocky. Not how it works, brother. People see straight through it. People see straight through it. So I had a couple comments on like videos and stuff. I really don't actually care because I'm not monetizing this channel. I'm doing the channel primarily for my own benefit, for the benefit of walking through the streets, drawing eyeballs, drawing the social quote unquote spotlight, uploading, watching the video, giving myself positive feedback, sharing my ideas with friends. That's why I'm doing these videos. So like, comment, I'm not just saying this, like I really truly don't care, but I had a couple of comments on a video, like a recent one, which was just like, you're too arrogant or whatever. I'm like, okay, brother, like, if I speak the truth, it's not arrogance. If I speak the truth, it's not arrogance. If I say, I don't need to work out and I'm going to have a better body than Cristiano Ronaldo, that's arrogant. If I say I don't need to study physics and I'm going to be better at physics than Albert Einstein, that's arrogance, okay? To me, the people who are truly arrogant, the people who sit around eating chip butties, judging other people, right? And thinking they're better than other people, despite the fact they've done absolutely fucking nothing to deserve any respect. So for me, I'm sorry, people like that are just complete waste of space, completely useless, and they don't get to define the morality, okay? They don't. To the victor go the spoils, basically. The morality really should be defined by the people who are ascending. And on that note though, now, so there is no actual equality. We're all at different, you're not equal to the guy at the top of the mountain if you're at the bottom, okay? You're earlier on the journey, but in terms of that journey, he's above you, right? That does not mean though, like you can't ascend as well. And in most things in life, it's mostly about application. The talent is like, the last few percent. Maybe for like an athlete or something, talent is more important, but for most things in life, I think for the key things in life, fitness, health, financial and professional success, relationship and social success, we are actually all pretty much equal. Like, if you ascend in the correct way, if you ascend in the correct way, you will make progress. You will go further up the kind of hierarchy and so on. And that's actually a beautiful thing. That's actually a beautiful thing. That's where the true equality is. Nobody, I don't care how intelligent you are, how naturally fit you are, nobody gets to 40 years old and has a modicum of success and a good physique and a good social life. No one really does that without some application, and probably without quite a bit of application. So there is justice really in that sense, kind of cosmic justice. So I think people who have got like achievements and have done good things, I think they actually do need to be confident about it. And even if that means provoking people who've not achieved anything, because hopefully by challenging those people, by provoking them, even if it's through jealousy, they're actually going to begin to ascend themselves. They might hate you. They're going to begin to ascend themselves. Jealousy is a very good motivator. I remember being jealous of, as ridiculous as it sounds, Jay-Z. When I was about 20, I was like, I'm studying all this time. Jay-Z's a crack dealer. He's got all these women and money. What am I doing wrong? Still a bit messed up, but I remember thinking that. It was a good motivator, you know? I never quite made it into the American rap game though. So yeah, being bold and confident and asserting what you've actually done, especially if the things that you have done, I think you want to be bold and confident in them. Now, that just as a general principle, this is not to, meet the ladies. This is not to make friends. This is just as a general principle and a kind of level of assertiveness and just being unapologetic and actually, staking your claim in this world. Now here's the other side to it. Here is the other side to this, and that's a great example of it there. Guy out training. The other side to this is, it's a really nice road this. The other side to this is, you also have to be humble about where you are in any given domain, any given time. Okay? You have to be humble about that, and you have to go from there and work from there. So if you're broke, you've got negative $5,000 in the bank account, just like being delusional about that's not going to help you. If you're obese, being delusional about that is not going to help you. If you're single, you've been single for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, being delusional about that is not going to help you. You have to accept where you are and move from there. You probably need to get help as well, and that's where the humility comes in. When I started learning languages, started learning Spanish, okay, I did not have the delusion that I was better than my Spanish teacher at the language, okay? Or even after 5 years of learning, I still didn't have that delusion. Now all those teachers I've overtaken because I continued on the path. I've gone to a higher altitude than they have. I'm still working, there's still further for me to ascend. But I've got into rarefied air in this one particular domain. Okay, but when I started off, I had to be humble. Other things I've started over the years, I'm in good shape now, as you can see by my, shredded body here. But there was a time when I was not in good shape for a while, primarily because I had health problems. But anyway, when I started my workout regime again, I had to start with one push-up. That's what I had to do. Humility. When I started my online business, there was a period of time I had to work in Primark. As a keep things coming in, keep things going. Other very humble things I've done. I had to assist, I won't go into the details, but I had to assist in a kind of community group in order to make contacts in the community. Basically, in order to essentially start my business in its face-to-face form before I went virtual. Humble beginnings, going back to zero, being humble, accepting where you're at is very important. And even though now with where everything is, I'm not delusional about where I am in any given field. And this is what I think is important. It's literally arrogant. It would be arrogant for me to believe in fitness I'm the same level as Cristiano Ronaldo. That'd actually be arrogant and delusional. I'm pretty good though. I'm pretty fucking good for a 38-year-old professional. Pretty damn good. But there's always more. There are always other levels you can ascend to. So that's where the humility comes in. So humble in pursuit, confident and bold in presentation. Humble in pursuit, confident and bold in presentation. I think that's the formula. That's the formula. And you've got too many people who are arrogant and lazy in pursuit and then fake humble in presentation because they don't actually have anything to present and they're just kind of resentful little shits. Just to come full circle to cold approach, in actual fact, a lot of that stuff actually goes out the window with cold approach anyway. So it's a discipline that I advocate constantly. It's a movement. It's about living in truth, It's about expressing yourself. Daytime cold approach. It starts with women and it filters over to every area of your life. Okay, it will filter into your long-term relationships if you go that far. It will filter into your personal relationships, into your business relationships. Living in truth. Living in the truth. And to me, this is what that inner voice, that inner conscience is about. Getting you to live in that truth, you know? Getting you to live there. And honoring that and recognizing it. And with cold approach, actually, to a good extent, we're all somewhat equal on the start line. Somewhat. There are a few variations, you know, experience and stuff, a few other variations, but we're all basically fairly equal. And that's why it's very humbling for high achievers to come in and do it, because you realize actually there might be guys who are not high achievers who are just way better than you, way more self-confident when it comes to women, you know, getting better results than you. But that's okay. You have to humble yourself. One of my friends is going through that very process at the moment. Wealthy guy doing super well for himself. Been coming in, doing cold approach for the last 5 weeks, and been putting the work in and grinding, you know, improving, facing things in himself, realizing in this arena he's not as confident as he is in his business, improving that confidence. And now just this very weekend, he's pulled his first model this weekend. You know, shout out to Richard, absolute legend. Yeah, but that's about starting from scratch, starting from the beginning. And also realizing, even if once you have got some confidence up, you are this kind of sex panther, realizing, hey, even then, it ain't always going to go your way. You know, it's not always going to go your way. Maybe even having the humility also to realize at some point, hey, maybe we're all going to move on from this at some point. And all this powerful sex panther energy, you know, it's going to be a thing of the past potentially. Although I think I'll still be approaching, even when whatever happens in life, I think I'll still approach for the self-development. Haven't really found anything that psychologically gets me as jacked up. Making videos in public is actually one of them. So yeah, humility. Humble in pursuit, bold and supremely confident and ascendant in application and presentation.